Folks, this morning we are going to talk about your Monday work. You're going to do this every single Monday. And your Monday work is going to include 5 minutes at the beginning of every lesson, doing what we're going to call reading ruminations. All right. So this is the slideshow that you're going to have up every Monday, and it shouldn't take you any more than 5 minutes to do your part. Okay. So your weekly reading rumination, let me put it in present mode, will be based upon your choice reading. Every Monday, there will be quick prompt posted for your response. This should take no longer than 5 minutes. Please respond in the space next to your name, then respond to one other classmate's post. So every Monday, you will do this. It will be worth 10 points every week, and I will show you how it will be graded, okay? So what the heck is a reading rumination? So the question probably is, what does it mean to ruminate? I lifted this definition from the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary. It says here, did you know? When you ruminate, you chew something over, either literally or figuratively. Literal rumination may seem a little gross to humans, but to cows, chewing your cud, that's partially digested food brought up from the stomach or for another chew, is just a natural part of life. Figurative ruminating is much more palatable to humans. That kind of deep meditative thought is often deemed quite a worthy activity. The verb ruminate has described metaphorical chewing since the 1500s and actual chewing since the early 1600s. Our English word derives from and shares the meanings of the Latin ruminare, which in turn derives from rumen, the Latin name for the first stomach compartment of ruminant animals. That is, creatures like cows that chew their cud. So when we ruminate, we chew something over, we think it over, okay? So some examples of ruminate in a sentence. The question got us ruminating on the real value of wealth, and he ruminated over the implications of their decision. So I expect some ruminating from you this year. Our objectives are as follows. My objective as your teacher is to hold you accountable for your reading. I just want to make sure that no matter what you are reading, because remember, you get to choose your own books, no matter what you're reading and no matter how many pages you are reading, that you are reading something every day, no matter how much or how little. Your objectives are this. 1, read something every day. I'm not going to make you write about it every day, although I may on any given day throw something out there and say, okay, tell me about what you're reading. Okay, but you know that every Monday you're going to have a reading rumination due. 2, keep track of what you are thinking or feeling about what you read. 3, share what you're reading with your classmates. Okay, we have to connect somehow, so this is how you're going to do it. You're going to share what you're reading with your classmates. They're going to react to it. 4, check out what your friends are reading, because you never know, you guys, they might find something to read that you think is interesting too. My recommendations to you are never as good as your classmates' recommendations to you. So if you see something somebody else is reading that looks really, really good, then you need to go into your Libby Overdrive and you need to either find it and borrow it, or you need to put it on hold or something to keep track of, what you might want to read next. So here's the process. Every Monday, you will be required to post a rumination. So 1, in Google Classroom, open up the Reading Rumination slideshow and find your name. I'll show you that in a second. 2, answer the prompt in the space that corresponds with your name. I am asking you to please do this by 5 o'clock. The reason I want you to do it by 5 o'clock on Monday is because other people need to also respond. So if you're not doing your rumination till midnight, if everybody waits till the last minute, then nobody will have anything to read and comment on. So by 5 o'clock, post your rumination. 3, find another classmate's rumination and comment on it. So if you're among the first people to record your ruminations for the day, you might have to come back later in the day to accomplish that. I'm asking you to do your comments by midnight. Okay? So is this for a grade? Yes, you will be scored on a weekly basis. Here's how you'll be scored. 10 out of 10. I am utterly convinced by the details you've provided that you are reading and that you are thinking about what you've read. And you've also responded thoughtfully to a classmate in a comment. So in other words, you have given specific details. You have said, this, and this happened. And I felt this way because, okay? The answer to the because, that's always the details. So you need to say, things that answer the question, and then you need to give me your because. Give me your reasons, why you think that way, why you feel that way. An 8 out of 10 is a B, okay? Although I'm pretty sure you're reading and ruminating, more details would have made it clearer. And you've responded to a classmate, and that's an adequate response. 6, you may have skimmed, read a summary, or chatted about this reading with a friend, but you didn't convince me that you actually read. Maybe you did read, but you haven't proven to me that you've read because there's no details, okay? Also, you need to make sure that your response to classmates has more detail. So maybe I'll give you a 7, somewhere here in the middle. Like maybe your response was pretty good, but your response to a classmate was kind of lame. In which case, that's where I'll do those middle ground scores. A 4 out of 10, you included some information about the text, but I am not convinced that you made time for the book. Either you asked somebody, or you read a summary, or you watched a video online, or you watched a movie about the same book, okay? But you have not convinced me that you've made time to read. Your response to a classmate is weak or inappropriate. A 2 out of 10 means you haven't shown me any details about the reading, or you failed to respond to a classmate, and a 0 is you didn't do the assignment, or I can prove that you cheated, okay? So that is how you will be scored. So Monday's rumination, okay? The very first rumination prompt is this. If you could choose to be friends with any of the characters in your book, which one would you choose and why? If you could choose to be friends with any of the characters in your book, which one would you choose and why? It's most important that you tell me why. Specifically, why is that character someone that you can see yourself being friends with? And give me several reasons. 3 is the magic number. If all else fails, make sure that you have 1, 2, 3 things to support your opinion. Okay? So if I escape out of here and show you then, this is what you're going to see every week. Okay? You're going to see reading ruminations. Okay? You'll see the weekly scores, so you remember every week how you're being scored. You'll see the slide with the prompt. And then there will be many, many, many slides, and they will all have your names on them. Okay? So, student name, Talia Meeker. Why? Because she's my daughter, so I keep using her as an example. And then random student B. So there will be 2 students per slide. All right? So Talia, whatever she's reading, she's going to go in here, and she knows that I know whether or not she's reading because I'm an English teacher and I fool her if she lies to me. Right, Talia? So she's going to put in her book title here. So let's say that she's reading, let's just go with, what haven't I used yet, you guys? I'm trying to go with something different. I don't know. She's reading The Poet X. Okay, so she's going to put that title in there, and then she's going to tell me what page number she's on. So she's on page, 78, just because. All right. So she is going to tell me which character she would most like to be friends with, and she's going to tell me why. And she's going to type it all in here. Let me pause while my dog barks. The dog stopped barking. So she is going to post all of her thoughts in here. Okay. Let's say that she's like, well, I'm going to be difficult, and I'm not going to say I like any of the characters. I wouldn't want to be friends with any of them. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. Say, I don't want to be friends with any of the characters, but you still need to write down why. Okay, the more details that you can give me from your book, the more likely I am to give you a 10 out of 10, because all I want you to do is read something and think about it. That's the ultimate objective. Okay. So she has gone in and she has done that. So we have to pause again because you guys, the mailman is here. You guys, that's what it's like to teach from home. Okay, so she's gone through, she's given me her explanations. We talked about that. So she will exit and come back later probably because I just know that she's going to be one of the first people to do this every day. Okay, so she will come back later, and let's say that somebody else now is going to read hers, and we're going to go with Nevaeh today because I know that Nevaeh is in my class, and I know Nevaeh. So Nevaeh is going to go in here, and she's going to type her name, okay? Oops, sorry. Nevaeh. Did I spell that right, Nevaeh? And she is going to react to Talia's response, okay? And she's going to be like, you know what? I think that it sounds interesting that you liked this particular character and yada, yada, yada. Or something, anything. Nevaeh, that is not what you have to say, okay? But basically, Nevaeh is going to go through these slides and she's going to find, a response that she finds meaningful in some way, something that strikes her as being interesting, or something that strikes her as being baloney. Maybe she's read this book and maybe she thinks that character is a total jerk, okay? Whatever you want to say, you guys, whatever you want to say, as long as it is meaningful, as long as it gives reasons, as long as it is several sentences in length, okay? Because you are not going to get away with just saying cool or nice response, okay? That right there will get you a 0 for that end of this assignment. You need to give reasons, okay? Meaningful responses. So that will be what you will do then when you give your peer response. So I will upload this very slideshow every single Monday, okay? Your only assignment for today, this Monday, is to do this and to read, okay? Do this and read your book. We will start something new tomorrow. All right? That said, have a great Monday.